Hello and welcome to Train Symbiotic and the first video for 2023. That can only mean one thing, especially with the store behind me. It means it's going to be a layout update. In this video we've got unboxing to do, then I'll show you some progress I've made on the layout, followed by seeing a train running around for the layout. So let's get onto the titles and then we'll see you on my desk. Rather than starting in the playroom, train room, whatever we're calling it today, we're starting here on my desk because I did a smallish order a few weeks ago of things I need for the layout. All of these products I already have and it's more of a top up, but I wanted to share with you what I got, why I got them, and then some of them next week we'll go a bit further into. So the first thing I've bought are 5 of these. I think they were about 50p each. And these are track spacers. So this here is what you have on your streamline track. That there is the spacing on your set track. So because I'm Richard and I do stupid things, on the storage yard we're using the set track spacing, but we're using streamline points, which mean I'm going to have to put a little bit of extra track between each point. The reason for this is that this does radius 4 to 3, so 4 there, 3 there, 3 to 2. So this is a spacing for all of the three main curves on the storage yard. So these are used for setting for track distance. So that's all quite self-explanatory. Next one is a point. This is a Pico SL90 Isofrog 00 HO code 100. This is a double slip, which means, I don't know what it means in real terms, but it means that that track there can go to that one or that one. That track there can go to that one or that one. I'm using these on the layout to try to condense the amount of space the point work is taking up to give me the most storage area. I do need to do a little bit of work to this point to get it to work how I want. And that's to put one wire there and one wire there. So when this is on the layout, if it's facing that way, I think it will be facing that way, that will be black and that will be blue. I've decided to use black and blue again because I've got a lot of feeder wires done up in that. And black is easy to hide and blue is easy to hide. So with a hot soldering iron, you just put a link there and a link there, and you can feed this track. I am then going to put isolating fish plates on all of those, which bring on to another thing. Big shout out to A to B Models for saving my life as I ran out of fish plates. Reason I'm isolating this is because we're having a block there, we're having a block there, we got a block there, and we're having another block there. So I don't want the computer to see this in use, meaning that that train there can't go. I mean that train there. So this is for 3 points will all be isolated. So let's go and go on to the next box. This box, DTC Concept Cobalt SS Motors 6 pack. Next week we'll go into much more details on how to install these and all that kind of stuff. But I got one installed already, and these are for point motors, all nice. Those are for drivers, which have DCC in out. Then you have everything you need. So these plug in there, programming switches, running switches, and outputs. I'll go and give you a full explanation and unboxing of this next week. And then the final thing is this box here. You'll be going, what have Rich been buying in a big long box? So, one of the biggest things you'll notice on the layout is I have track bed underneath the layout. I decided to use the DCC Concept 3mm track bed. So this is we're about to have a large area of points, and then we got some track width ones for whereabout I'm just having a single bit of track. So best thing to do now is to go into the train room, and I can go through all the other changes in the last month. So here we are in the train room, and as I was just showing, this is the trackbed, and quite easy to install. I have this contact spray. I mark out the place for the trackbed. I give it a good spray of this on the wood and same on the trackbed, and then just lay it down. So that's pretty self-explanatory. But here you can see some other bits. You'll see this block here and go, what is it? You actually see two of these. These are bus bars, and these ones in particular are for driving for point motors. So black on that side, blue on that side, and these then lead off to the point motors. These then have a terminal in there, which are a screw terminal, which are these things in here. So with a crimping tool, you put your appropriate wire in there and crimp it down, and then you just slide it underneath there, and hey presto, your connection. I'm also using some other type of connections. Wherever I have screw terminals, I've been putting these on in the appropriate sizes. These are for no crimpings, and that gives you a nice nice thing to connect your wires to. So I'll just pause you for a second and then show you the next interesting thing. Over here we have our first point motor in place. That's point 101, and next week I'll show you how I installed it. You can also see the sulphur box in front of it. That's the controller for it, and that also does the frog switching for me. So you can see that that's a nice small unit on the layout, and it does everything I need. So I'll pause you again and show you something else. Just here we have two connectors. Just here is a connector for my low connect system, and just here is a meter which shows me how much power is being used on the layout. So the meter is a DCC concept, and we're going to end up with two of those on the layouts because I'm splitting this into two power zones. So I'm having the E-course and then a booster. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the unit and explain to you what happens. So you can see now it's reading 17.75 volts. That's what coming out to the DCC system, and there's 0.10 amps being pulled. So that's showing me how much of the system resources are being taken. Behind there I have cut a hole into the wood, and we've got 2 wires coming out of the E-course and 2 wires going to the layout, so really easy wiring. So all that's left to do is to show you some trains running. So as promised, here's the train running. It's my Capital Connect pack, train pack. It's a Batman model, and it's actually doing quite a good job. At the moment I have a bridge rebuilt on the live stream, take the train across, and you can see I got stuff in front of the layout Ken. Just over here is the DCC Concept SF point motor, which I'll be a video about next week, and you can see the track bed in place. This is for DCC Concept trackbed, as I showed you, and to attach it I have just used contact spray. One of the things I'm most pleased about with this is the train is happy to run forward and backwards. It's currently running in reverse mode. Don't ask me why. That what the last train that was on it runs, and this little train even run without any problems. So I'm very pleased with where about to end this year. Hopefully on the next layout update we'll have track 2 and 3 in, and then I can start to work out for fiddling yard, as I'm going to have some internal points taking us to more storage. So I want to show you a few last bits before we finish this video, so I'll just turn you around. So up here is the start of my latest project in this room. We all know that I buy way too many Metcalfe models, and I also have Thumper Road. So what I've done is I have put Thumper Road up as a standalone unit, and then I'm looking at putting run-off shelf all the way around the room. Then it gives me 2 benefits. First of all, we have the shelves, and then secondly I can add a bit more lighting to the walls. So that's something I got coming up. Then I'll move you over here. You'll notice that now you're not looking outside. I have these blinds which are being automated, so that when I'm filming in here I can control the lighting. Yeah, there is more I could do with this, but it does me nicely. So that's quite nice. So another project I've been up to on the layout is actually prep work for the next part of the project. So I'll pause the camera and show you the next bit. So you'll see just here I got my first block detection. I've been planning block detection throughout with this, and I've been talking and getting advice from different people on best way to do this. So what I'm planning to do here is that loop will be one block. So starting at that point, finishing at that point. Then the point will be separate blocks. On the outer line, I want this to be kept clear at all times, so that will be one block till it get to just here, whereabouts it will then have a point, so we'll have another block there. Then for the next two blocks, I'm not quite as, next two circles, I'm not quite as sure what's happening with blocks and points, but I'm working on trying to make sure I have everything planned in place. And then finally, I'll pause you for a moment to show you the last progress. So I showed you the voltmeter earlier, but I didn't explain to you the other panel. You're going to be going your ECOS. Why is there a DigiCheck panel? That's because I use the LNet adapter. The idea is both layers are going to have independent blocks, but I still want a handheld controller, so this area will have a place for me to connect. Eventually the ECOS will move up, so we have a lower board and then the higher board. So first is showing me the voltmeter, and also let me to see where about to plug in my DigiCheck controllers. So I think that's all the bits I have to share with you. So I'll move it so that we can see the train coming past. And you can see I've got lots of stuff on the track. I always have lots of stuff on the track. But with this train coming past, I'm going to wish you all best wishes, and we'll see you all on Wednesday for the first live stream of the year. The live stream will be on my desk rather than out here. It will be at 8 o'clock, and I'm not sure what we're going to be up to, but I will give you the answers to the questions from the quiz. So thank you everybody for watching, thank you for commenting, hello to the new subscribers. Big shout out to my members, who at the moment is Ash. For people who run prizes at Christmas, can you please contact me? And Big Red, thank you very much. And I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much. Richard.